In this tutorial, I want to talk to you a little bit about Unreal Engine and how that can be used with 3D Studio Max and other CAD software to do real-time rendering. One of the problems we found on our major project was the extreme time it took to do proper rendering using tools such as V-Ray. It's a very time-intensive and compute-intensive process. So gaming engines like Unreal Engine can really add a lot of value for architectural rendering. So if we go to Unreal website, unrealengine.com, we can learn a little bit about this. And the tool that we're really looking for after we've downloaded and installed Unreal Engine, click on Architecture and it will automatically download the installer file that you can see here. But what we want to do is use a tool called Datasmith. Datasmith is the tool that allows you to convert a 3D Studio Max file into the appropriate format for Unreal Engine. So we go to Datasmith, and as you can see, their first tool they featured is 3D Studio Max. And really this is a process that allows you to take that data out of Max or any of these other CAD packages, including Rhino, and bring them into Unreal Engine. The process itself is relatively straightforward, as I will show you now. So we'll close this out, assume you know how to download and install. If we take our previous example of the teapots on the surface, now that Datasmith has been installed on my machine, all I need to do is go File, Export, and I can export the whole model. I select Unreal Datasmith as my file format. Now let me save this. This will automatically save in the 3D Studio Max export folder, so that'll be fine. We'll call this teapots on surface. We click save, and we can choose all visible objects and the current frame only. It is also possible to do an animation and bring animation into Unreal Engine so that you don't have to recreate that in Unreal if you've already done it in 3D Studio Max. You can also bring in lighting and cameras into Unreal Engine if you've already got those set up in 3D Studio Max. But since I haven't set those up for this particular example, we'll just go visible objects, current frame only, OK. There you go. Because it's a relatively simple scene, that didn't take long at all. So now we've exported that out of there. Next step for us, we can close 3D Studio Max. We'll save our work, and we'll call this teapots on surface. Teapots on surface, and we'll save that just so we can come back to it later. Next step, we need to launch Unreal Engine. So once we launch the Epic Games Launcher, and this is Epic Games Launcher because Epic Games are the people who actually develop Unreal Engine. It's free software to use Unreal Engine for architectural applications. They only charge for it if you're using it as a gaming engine. So anyway, let's go and launch Unreal Engine, and I'll show you the process of bringing that 3D Studio Max file into Unreal. So now that Unreal has launched, we get our initial splash screen, select or create new project. We're going to go and create a new architectural project and go next. Let's start with the blank projects for the example here. There's also some other interesting ones such as architectural visualization, HoloLens viewer, and collaborative viewer. We'll start with a blank project this time. We don't need any starter content, and we want to disable ray tracing. On my little PC, it is very much a struggle to try and launch a ray tracing model. We don't really need it. So nevertheless, let's just stick with this, and we'll go teapots on surface as our project name, and we can leave them in the Unreal Projects folder. So once the project is being created, we'll go ahead and wait for that to load. So this is what we get with a blank project. So we can go up to the center here and go import Unreal Datasmith file. We'll select our previous one, which we know was in 3D Studio Max export, and teapots on surface U Datasmith. We open that up. We tell it we want to put it in the content, so all the content goes in the root content folder. Now we're only bringing geometry, materials and textures. We don't have any set up, but we'll leave that ticked. We don't do any lights, cameras or animations. We certainly didn't create any of those. So there you go. We now have our model in Datasmith. So that just gives you a bit of an idea on how we bring a model into Unreal Engine from 3D Studio Max.